And we are live on the SideQuest live, joining you on a beautiful, some might say soggy, depending on what part of the country or world you're in. Monday evening, maybe Tuesday morning. I don't know, or maybe Monday afternoon. Who knows anymore?
It is Monday, isn't it? I didn't.
It's Monday.
I forgot it was Monday.
It's crazy. It's Monday. It's the first Monday of October. Dude, August is gone. September is gone. How you doing, JJ? I'm Dali Demowski. You can see me at Dali Demowski, joined by the one, the only, the underscore double underscore J. Exactly.
Yeah.
Where did the year go?
Where did it go, man? It's Halloween season though, so I'm
it's
happy
spooky
with that.
Season. You know
spooky
what? Maybe
season, baby.
We're gonna play the video from last year that we had the podcast we created.
Oh yeah. No, we just need to do another one. They're not hard to do.
That's true. I had it was my turn to do one of the episodes. So for those that don't know, JJ and I were going to do this whole 6-episode series on spooky stuff. So we got the first episode, which was awesome. It was JJ and I around this campfire setting that we did. It was actually really cool. And then we never got around to doing any more because of me, because work got crazy busy. And it's totally my fault. I accept it. It's all good.
Things didn't get any better for me over the last handful of months, but
let's go.
Yes, absolutely, it was you.
Yes, it's totally fine. I admit it. It's me.
We should definitely do an episode in Halloween costumes this year.
Oh, that's a phenomenal idea. Maybe I'll get one of those giant Among Us, like the fake Among Us costumes.
Yeah.
We were at Party City looking for some Halloween decorations over the weekend. Yesterday, I think it was, and or it was Saturday, and they had just the worst.
They do. I was just there today.
Called crew member costume. It was red and green. And I'm like, that looks nothing like like Among Us.
Yeah, I've got a really nice Ghostbusters costume. I could just sit here.
Awesome.
Ghostbusters setup. So
nice.
We'll do that at the week of Halloween. We'll all dress in a costume.
I love the idea. Fantastic. We're gonna do this. It's gonna be cool. I'm excited.
Force the rest of the guys into it.
Yes. I mean, Taylor doesn't have to wear anything because
spooky enough.
You're spooky enough already. Just kidding, Taylor. We love you. It's gonna be just the two of us today, which is totally fine with me.
Yeah. We can make it if we try.
I'm
booted off the show, aren't I?
It's been a fun episode. But just kidding. It's gonna be good times. We'll have a good chat. There was a little bit of news. There's been games we've been playing, and there's a whole bunch of stuff happening. So I'm gonna dive right into it. I'm pulling up I'm putting up a video here so we can play.
Video
of something that is going to be awesome. Something that is wunderbar. Something that all of us. I have to stop talking and actually do it. Something that all of us. Oh, there we go. I'm looking for the right thing here. All of us have been excited and talking about and waiting. It is Stranger of Paradise. Final Fantasy Origin. We got our release date. TGS was this past weekend, and Square Enix and a couple other companies had a few announcements that we can talk about here. But get ready to kill chaos, baby.
Chaos.
There's a new demo that's out right now, right?
Probably. I don't know. I haven't really paid any attention to this game. I played the initial demo, and that was sort of the last time I thought about this game until TGS rolled around. And there's that clip, and there's that clip of what is it, Jack going bullshit, and then turning on his phone and blasting fucking music. Just butt metal comes blaring out of his phone.
You know, it's funny. I was not at all excited for this game, which just looks like a Muso style. There's some Muso and Neo elements and action RPG. Until I saw that meme that scene get posted everywhere, and all of a sudden I'm like, I fucking want this game.
I want the game.
I want this.
I want the game to be that. I want this character to be like self-aware the entire game. I want that bullshit throughout.
It visually, it's got some interesting style to it. You know, it looks, you know, it's. I think whoever the team is within Square Enix, they're having fun put it together because look at it, it's got some cool effects. It's definitely it's not a remake of the first Final Fantasy game, so it's definitely not that. This is just a hey, let's.
It seems to be sort of what Metal Gear Rising was to Metal Gear Solid 4. Like, it's just
agreed. I mean, they have some like Kingdom Hearts-ish looking characters in there. There's Final Fantasy 13 Versus looking characters in there. There's a, you know, it's a weird amalgamation, whatever, of Final Fantasy stuff. But we did get a release date announcement.
Yeah,
March 2022.
Wow. Really, there's I mean, no competition. Might as well drop it off in March 2022.
It's fucking crazy, man. What are they? Just push it off. There were plenty of things that were delayed this year into February, March. And now it's.
And then here's the thing. This was never one of them. This was always this was always supposed to come out next year sometime. So
yes. I think we're going to start to see an exodus out of that February, March timeframe from games. Only because you don't want stuff to get lost in there. Now, there's a rumor that Elden Ring will get delayed, which that could definitely happen. I could see that, but
like we still haven't seen.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks okay. Elden Ring has just like that game comes out like really fucking soon.
January.
Technically. Yeah.
I think the same day or the same week is like Pokemon Arceus or whatever.
Yeah. And we've really seen, for all intent and purpose, nothing from that game. And it comes out in January. It comes out in just a few months. It is October.
It's insane. It's like it's just wild to me. I think Elden Ring might be early enough in the season where if it is actually still coming out in January, it'll be fine because there's no other like big...
if it comes out on that January day, it's going to be okay for it. But I don't see it coming out on that January. Yeah.
Let me look up the video game Wikipedia. Video game releases 2022. 2022 in video games. Oh, great. Here we go. January, you have Monster Hunter Rise for PC. Does that sound right? Who knows?
Probably.
Elden Ring is the 21st, and Pokemon Legends is the week after that. Oh, and also Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Extraction is also coming out January.
Oh, man, that's right. That exists.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
And then February. All right, get ready for February. I thought March was bad, but you have the Life is Strange Remastered collection at the beginning of the month. Dying Light 2, which, in case you haven't heard, Dying Light 2 is a game. You've probably heard about Dying Light 2 a lot, maybe too much. Yeah. Dynasty Warriors 9, King of Fighters 15, Horizon Forbidden West, Destiny 2 Witch Queen, Sifu, for the racing car fans of us, Assetto Corsa Competizione, Saints Row, Blood Bowl 3, Evil Dead the Game.
Blood Bowl 3?
Yes. Yes, Evil Dead the Game and Vampire the Masquerade Swan Song are all February. That's packed. I mean, Horizon Forbidden West and Dying Light and Life is Strange and Destiny.
Saints Row is not coming out.
Saints Row.
There's no fucking way.
I think that'll get delayed because we haven't seen anything from that either. And then you have March.
All we got is a sizzle tweet teaser.
Exactly.
For it. Like it wasn't even gameplay.
They did have a second video. They did have a second video that showed like very brief gameplay. Yeah. But anyways, and then you have March, which is GT7, Triangle Strategy, Stranger of Paradise, Rune Factory 5, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. Keep forgetting about that.
Yeah.
GTA 5, GTA Online for next gen, Midnight Suns, the Marvel game, and WWE 2K22. Those are all coming out in March.
I can't wait to see WWE 2K22.
Yeah,
I can't wait to see what, because think about the way those games are developed. They have such a lead that by the time that game comes out, half that roster is gone.
Yeah, right.
And what it's gonna be the AEW game at this point.
Oh, it's bonkers. I mean, there's other games like was it Plague Tale Requiem, I think might be coming out during that time. Baldur's Gate 3, they were talking about maybe during that time frame. I'm just literally just looking at 2022 games that don't have dates yet, don't have confirmed dates yet. But
and who the fuck knows what Nintendo has? Like they always just announce in like January. It's like, hey, here's this thing that comes out in March, and you're like, oh, okay, well, cool.
Yep,
new Kirby game or whatever.
Bonkers. Yeah, it's bonkers. But yeah, so there you go. January, February, March is going to be insane for the Game Brain. Insane Game Brain. Let me see what else we got here news wise since last we spoke. I'm checking out the news here.
I saw that the people behind the rumor is that the people behind Friday the 13th and the Predator game, their next game is a Ghostbusters game.
Ooh, yeah, is that Bloober Team?
No, it's like Ilf something.
Oh, Ilphonic or whatever it is.
Ilphonic, yeah.
Oh, that could be cool.
So, I don't know what, like, if it's like, because Predator and Friday the 13th are mostly the same game. So a similar in a Ghostbusters vein would actually be kind of fucking cool.
Oh, dude, yeah. Oh man, I could see somebody playing as a ghost or as the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man or something. Oh, that could be.
Play as Gozer or something like
yes.
Like that.
Oh, that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, but Vigo, the Carpathian, any of those kinds of whatever the big villain will be in the afterlife. The original Ghostbusters game, the one that just got remastered like last year or whatever, had a really cool multiplayer component that they didn't bother redoing for the remaster. Yeah, but I was kind of bummed that it wasn't in the remaster, but I also get it because that's just more work for a game that like 20 people are gonna play. So
there is a big old rumor, big meaty rumor that a couple Konami rumors actually.
Oh yeah.
One is that they're looking to revive Metal Gear, Castlevania, and Silent Hill. This comes from our friends over at Video Game Chronicles and a couple other sites. So yeah, rumor is that they're pumping out brand new games in their 3 biggest series, as well as we got one, as well as Silent Hill potentially being a Kojima game that's financed from Sony, just similar to what Square Enix did with Final Fantasy VII, which was financed through Sony.
And Metal Gear Solid 3 remake. Which maybe make it so then people can play Metal Gear Solid 4 on a modern console, but whatever.
Yep. Konami has a huge backlog of IP that and we saw it every time they put out a Castlevania collection. We eat it.
It's the craziest thing. Like Castlevania has probably never been hotter since like the mid 90s, because all these collections are doing really well. They just put out that GBA one that people were just like frothing at the mouth. The
series was great.
The Netflix series. I have people that have never touched a Final Fantasy game in their life that watched that series
or Castlevania game.
Watched that series and fell in love with that anime. And it's so funny that like they're just seemingly willing to just let the franchise just sort of fade away, but hopefully they really are working on something new. But I hope it's a good. I hope they know that it needs to be a good team. Like I understand that every single one of these projects is going to be from a different. Not going to be like a Konami project. It's just going to going to be their name slapped on the box and.
The another cool kind of Konami thing, and our good friend in Playland's going to be helping us out with something actually pretty soon here. Is Konami's actually sponsoring an indie developer competition that to allow, this is from IGN and our friends at Game Industry Is, where indies have basically an opportunity. They can win a grand prize of like 18 grand or whatever, which doesn't seem like a lot, but it's meant to kind of spur ideas and come up with concepts for some of the ideas. And so Konami could commercialize some of these games based on their IP. There is like a certain amount of IP, and like they gave like, I guess 80 games to, including like Gradius and Star Soldier, Twin Bee. And so, but Castlevania and Metal Gear aren't on there, things that aren't on there, but the smaller, they have a ton of smaller ones. And if there's ways that they can revive some of those, that's a cool idea.
Do you remember the old, there was actually a really good, like, Konami Arcade Classics game on the DS that had some, like, really good...
Yep.
Like, and they keep, like, there was that DS track and field, like, new game where, like, it was like the old NES track and field, but you could also play as, like, Konami characters. Like, here's Pyramid Head running relay race and shit like that.
Yes.
Like, yeah, make a new track and field. Hell yeah, Make a Konami Superstars track and field where it's just like a...
Oh my God, that would be awesome. Bring back track and field. I mean, Konami has... they've worked with a ton of different IPs. Weren't they like... were they a part of the Kunio Kun? Did they like publish some of those games? Or I don't remember. But,
it's hard to remember all that. Because Konami back in the NES was, especially in the US, was doing that thing that everyone was doing where Nintendo only let you publish a couple, like X amount of games a year. So you needed to create a secondary arm. So you had like Konami and Ultra.
That's
and, like,
right. Yeah.
And like Ultra was where it's like those were like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles games, like the licensed things. And then Konami
it was
proper.
five games a year or something like that. 5 or 6.
Yeah. So Konami wasn't the only one doing this. I think that's where you got like Namcot as well. Like if you look at old Namco games, some of them were Namcot. Yeah. So.
So it's, I mean, I think it's awesome.
It's hard to think about a time where Konami really was like a powerhouse in the industry,
right?
Like it wasn't just them. It just wasn't Castlevania, like because like in the NES days it was Castlevania and Contra, like and those were the two big ones, and like and it just kept growing from there, and then just to have them just sort of slip into pachinko and soccer is
the
just
last like 3 to 4 years, they've just completely faded out. It's a bummer.
Yeah, like they completely imploded during the development of Metal Gear Solid 5 and just have yet to like play. It's like every time they have anything interesting, it's always like, oh, here's the Castlevania collection, and you're like, cool, thanks, these are great games.
Everyone's like, sweet.
Can we get a new one? Can we? I would love them to just make a new, like, beautiful 2D side-scrolling Castlevania game. It doesn't need to be a 3D adventure. It could just be like hand draw. Make Way Forward. Make a Way Forward would be awesome.
Yeah, and I mean they did actually release a new-ish or a new Castlevania game for Apple Arcade. I haven't tried it,
but it's also like it's a new game in the sense where it was out in China like 6 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Re-release or not. Yeah.
Oh.
Games that were on the Wii. The Wii.
Oh yeah. The Wii games are great. Those are awesome. Those Castlevania and Contra games. Those classics were great. I mean, there's a lot of stuff on the eShop that maybe we'll get to that a little bit later. But there's a lot of stuff on the eShop that's just lost. Like there were. I think Square Enix had was it Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, My Life as a Dark Lord, My Life as a King. And those are cool. Those are cool. Check them out because they're gone. They're lost. They're gone. They were on the Wii, and they were so cool.
Here's the thing. With a Dolphin emulator and the Internet Archive, everything's there.
That's true. That is true. That's true.
You owe me nothing if they don't want to release Castlevania Adventure Rebirth. You can just get it. You can just get it and play it on your computer right now. It's fine. Just do it.
I'm doing a search on that right now, but you didn't see it from me. Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it is on archive.org. That is too funny.
Yeah.
Holy cow. Do a quick search is all I found. Anyways, all right. Let's see. I'm trying to find maybe one more little news bite here. Oh yeah, Epic Games Store. They're getting achievements next week.
Oh,
so
okay.
That's something. I mean, I guess.
I don't know what achievements are to people these days.
Right. Yeah.
I haven't thought. Like, I pay more attention to the trophies because they have that bit of meta in them where there's like percentages and that shows you. But like, achievements on the Xbox they just give them away left and right. Like, there's like special achievements now.
Yep.
Achievements for apps and everything.
I really like the trophies on just through the PS5 and how they tell you here's how you can get it. You can check out hints on how to get these trophies and that kind of stuff. I think that's a really cool idea, and it drives me to do some of the extra stuff. So, but yeah, it's a thing. I liked Chivos early on, and as sort of a way to get me to kind of keep playing game. But then I think developers haven't really, after the first 5 years of achievements, whatever, they just kind of.
It was really fun.
They're just like check mark, yeah.
It was really fun back in the day when they came up with like creative achievements, like make you play a game a way you wouldn't normally play it to get an achievement. But nowadays, it's just stat tracking. It's just you killed 200 guys with a shotgun. Here's a trophy or an achievement. It's like, yeah, okay. Yep. I probably was going to do that anyways, but like make me like figure out a way to like chain destructive elements together or something, like, or something. Force me to play a game a way I don't play it.
I'm going to list, hold on a second here. I'm going to post this thing. Here's what I loved what Taylor posted in the chat in
God
in the Discord, because this is perfect. This is the way I saw achievements, that I think, oh my God, finally did it. Do you see me, devs? Are you proud of me? And then at the studio, somebody beat the game without any upgrade. It's like, why? I mean, that's like perfect achievement stuff. Like, used to be awesome. Zero upgrades, and then you get the achievement. Or like Dishonored, where you try to make it to the game without killing anyone, which was potentially extremely difficult. Or, but then it just became steady. You've fired 5,000 bullets. You fired 5,000 flaming arrows. You've beaten this level in under 35 seconds or whatever. It's like, okay, cool. That doesn't do anything for me. It's just it's stat tracking.
This is gonna be a really petty kind of thing, but the one thing I don't forgive achievements about is sort of how they ruined cheat codes.
Oh,
like,
cheat
codes used to be real fun, like just a fun way to go into a game and do it, but like they didn't want to really. It's like, well, people will find a way to use cheats to exploit it, so we'll turn off auto, like in GTA. It's like we turn off auto saving or whatever. It's like, hey, that's boring. Just who gives a shit? They're fake numbers, man. It's not. It's not like I'm breaking the online component of Grand Theft Auto. It's just let me fucking
agree.
Let me punch in a code and let me get all the guns and let me save my progress. Nobody cares. You people that do care, you don't want to hang out with.
That's exactly it. It's exactly it. And last bit of news, Nintendo's got the Smash Brothers thing happening tomorrow. The final Smash Brothers. And
what time is it? It's like 7:00 my time.
Yeah, it's 7 a.m. Is it? No, it's is it 7? Yeah, it is 7 a.m.
It's like 7 a.m. But they always do that shit where it's just like it's Japan, so it's like it's whatever. It's America, you whatever, man.
It's I'm gonna find Sakurai's. Here we go. His tweet earlier, which was kind of funny. Translated, it basically says, "Oh, that's a fake one. Never mind. I can't tell." Anyways, he kind of tweeted earlier about how he's kind of put an emotional thing to this. Wanted. That's right. Team Ninja has a new game called Wanted Dead. Yeah, there's some cool games that were announced literally like this morning, late last night, early this morning. So I'll post a couple of these trailers out there. He was kind of getting emotional on Twitter a little bit in a weird way, because he knows it's his last. This is it for him with Smash Brothers. I mean, he really says it, and I think his tweet was basically, and this is translated, was, people may not. A lot of people may not know this character, is the way he put it. A lot of people may not know this character, but I hope you find some personal connection, and it's been a lot of fun, and blah blah blah. So I don't know what. What do you?
I wonder what that means. I wonder because I always feel like that's what like it's an American character, you know, like something like because he's talking to his Japanese audience. Like you may not know who this is, but also like. What if it's just Sakurai? What if the final character is like, you really know me? But like,
I'd love it.
Yeah,
I would love Sakurai. I would love like some folks even said maybe it's an original character, but I'm like, no, I don't.
That would be fucking cool. Like, or like a character. Yeah, a character that hasn't been announced yet. Like it's just some weird character. It's like, who the fuck is this? And it's like a game that comes out in 2 years.
Yeah, exactly. Or like a game that hasn't even been announced yet. All of a sudden they're like, hey, here's this. Who's this weird character? And then like right after the show, they're like, we had a new game coming out in surprise beginning of November.
Yeah. Oh. I don't know. I just don't know at this point like who it could be because I feel like we've got a pretty like robust roster and kind of whoever the last one is. I hope it's a Nintendo character.
Yeah,
I know that most people would like because like I feel like we've got enough third party representation and there's really nobody really exciting enough really. I mean like everyone always talks about like Crash Bandicoot or things like that. It's like yeah I guess but like I don't know who the original Nintendo character would be but but I hope it's maybe some sort of like lost Nintendo character, like an old character from like an old NES game or like a Game & Watch game or something.
That's kind of what I'm. So I'm leaning towards. That could be it. I am also leaning towards.
Should be Popeye.
Yeah, there you go. But I part of me wonders is if Nintendo would have just said, you know, Sakurai, this is the last game. You choose the character. This is the last character. You know, you choose it. Somebody could be, you know, a character from your backlog, from your history. He's done all the Kirby's. So maybe it's a Kirby character. He did this game called Mushi King, the King of Beetles, which is like one of those card battler games at arcades. Sega actually developed it and published. Maybe it's something he did Meteos. Remember Meteos?
Meteos,
that was I think Q was the publisher or developer, or Q Entertainment, but he was involved.
I don't know. You know, the NES fan in me would love it to be. What was it? Mike Jones from Star Tropics.
Oh yeah.
But it wouldn't be too far removed from like Ness as a character with like the yo-yo and everything. But yeah, there's characters it could be like, but it would be fun to just sort of like dig deep into like video game, like the Oswald the Rabbit of Nintendo or something that is like long lost or haven't thought about in a long time, or just go completely like left field and have it be like a movie character or something weird. It's like...
maybe some animation. I mean, would I love Waluigi? Yeah, I'd love Waluigi, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think that one's like I think the expectations have been tamed. However, I think we may be getting there is a possibility we may be getting two characters. One would be the really cool character that, you know, this is the one he's kind of talking about. Whatever the character is, it's like it's probably a Nintendo. Who knows? Whatever this character is, it's the one he's been working on. And then everybody gets, and that's part of the Fighter's Pass. And then everybody gets a free character download of Waluigi. Because that was essentially what they did with the Piranha plant, right? That was sort of a free download if you registered or something.
I will be interested because they always do really weird Mii Fighter costumes. Mario version, movie version.
Oh man! But like, what if it was? Was it Bob Hoskins?
Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo,
John Leguizamo.
But also,
that'd be amazing.
But also Chris Pratt and
they should do a Mario multiverse, which just have all the different versions of Mario. Can't do Lou Albano anymore, but yeah, you could.
It would be fun if they did like a voice pack for Smash Brothers, like replace she's voice with Charlie Day and Chris Pratt as their. I'm wondering.
Leave it to modders to do that. Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah. I'll be interested because they always do really weird Mii Fighter costumes during these as well. So that's where you would get Sakurai
yeah.
if they did that.
Yeah.
They would do like a Mii fighter costume of Sakurai if they did
Sakurai,
that.
Iwata,
Yeah.
Reggie,
Iwata, Reggie,
and just make it Miyamoto. Just do
Miyamoto.
do the Mii costumes based on all those
All
characters.
of
I
the
think
old
that'd actually be
Nintendo,
kind of cool. Yeah,
all of the old
guard,
Nintendo Power, all the old Nintendo Power
Oh
people.
man, Nintendo Nestor.
Nestor, yeah.
Yeah,
Howard,
I think
Howard and Nestor, yeah.
Howard Lincoln. That would be cool.
They had, if you remember, they did
Bowling.
have animated. And they had animated comic strip in the Nintendo Power. So that'd be funny if they put them in.
And they had, was it Nestor's Funky Bowling? They actually
Nestor's
made a virtual. It was a Virtual Boy game.
Virtual Boy game, yeah.
I gotta see if there's more Virtual Boy. I gotta pick out some Virtual Boy games. I'm kind of excited about it. So I get my Virtual Boy fix.
There's a really good Virtual Boy emulator for the Oculus, and you can download everything, and you can change the color so it's not blaring red.
Yeah, they had the different DQs. Yeah, exactly. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. Bring Virtual Boy games to the Switch. But yeah, I mean,
they do have that VR.
That's what I'm saying.
Lavos,
But yeah, like I think it could be a. We might get more than just this final reveal. Just one reveal. I think this is gonna be something special. Like I think they might throw something else out there. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of sad to the end of all these characters. However, I am, part of me is like, okay, this is it for Smash. The next Smash game, maybe it's just an update on this for whatever the next Switch is. It's just to make it with melee level competition stuff. But I'd like the next Smash game to be Street Fighter style. Just do something completely different.
Make the next Smash like Pokken, that Pokemon.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Just go different. Mix it up. That way you can still pump this game out.
It's crazy the fighting game representation in Smash, the different like every fighting game, like the only fighting game franchise of major ones that wasn't like represented was Mortal Kombat at this point.
Yeah, right. Yep.
You got Tekken, you got King of Fighters, you got Street Fighter. It's like
But I'm excited. It's gonna be a fun reveal tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well, that's it for the news. Let's get into what we've been playing. You have a couple games. Let me go first.
I have more than a couple, depending.
Yeah, more than a couple. You've been a couple weeks off. I'll go real quickly through mine because it's been a week where I've been kind of tidying up a couple of things. Finished ActRaiser, and I got did you play it?
No, not yet, but I just love ActRaiser.
Yes, it is. So do I. So I finished ActRaiser Renaissance. Put 20 hours into it, which you could knock that game out in like 8 to 10 at most. But if you're an uber completionist like I am, the first ActRaiser game I mentioned last week, the first ActRaiser game let you be real nitpicky and kind of maximize your town. Like once you complete the game and get the town all built up, the town has like 3 levels. You can try to. Like there was this metagame with folks online. I was a part of it where we would try to maximize the amount of villagers living in your town. And you would decimate like certain houses so that you could build a field, which could feed more villagers. So you could have more villagers in your town. And I figured out how to maximize the town in ActRaiser for the Super NES. And so I took that philosophy into this game to maximize the town. So here's what the cool stuff they've done is that, and it's slight spoiler for ActRaiser, but not really. The game's like 30 years old, whatever, 40 years old. There's like 6 or 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 worlds in ActRaiser, something like that. And then once you complete all those levels, you can kind of go back and fiddle with stuff. Well, in this game, they've added extra characters. So now there's like heroes that are within each of these realms. And the heroes are specifically there for some narrative side of things to kind of tie why you're going after some of these enemies, as well as they've included raids into the system. So in the original ActRaiser, you can beasts would spawn out of these little warps, these little black holes on the field, and you could kill the beast with the angel flies around, the little cherub flies around and shooting the beasts, and that's it. And then you can send, then you're meant to send the characters over to your little townspeople over to close up the base. In the current one, in the new one, what they've done is each of those little bases, you can jump into sort of a 2D platforming world to clear them up. So it's even more platforming is built into these. Plus, they've created raids. So out of nowhere, there are story portions, but then you can kind of play as you want. Out of nowhere, a raid will you'll get a warning, and then a raid will start, and you can build up fortifications. It's almost like tower defense mode style, which it's really interesting. So you set up like different types of gates to protect your temple, or in some cases, monsters might, you might have to try to keep your fields or your workshops. Like 50% might have to survive, or 100% might have to survive, or one might have to survive, or a certain amount of population. So there's different goals on these in the raids, which is kind of cool. But you have to strategically place your tower defense stuff around your town, which takes up space from housing, from fields, and that kind of stuff. So you have gate houses, which are just like big gates that block the roads for the ground forces. Then you have mage houses, which fire like spells and stuff at certain enemies, and then especially flying ones. And you have the arrow block houses, which fire just arrows. And then you have your hero, which you can send your hero out to battle monsters. So it's if you see a swarm of monsters coming and they're kind of stopped at one little fortification, you send your hero over there, and your hero will try to attack them. But if your hero dies, which they can, then the raid is over. You've lost. But then you can have up to 3 heroes. You can unlock more. It's cool. It's a whole different mode to the game, which really makes you want to plan out your town effectively. So I love that idea. I think that's really cool. And then once you complete the game, and by the way, those raids can get pretty freaking difficult if you're not careful. Even some of the end game raids. Sorry, my nose is super itchy. Some of the end game raids on, I think the town is called North Wall, which, funny enough, North and Wall. I think of the Wall from Game of Thrones. It's some of the end game raids are really difficult. Once you complete the game, there's a whole new area that you can unlock, a whole extra world that you can build up and build townspeople and fight enemies in. So it's cool. It's a whole extra zone. I love it. I think it's fantastic. It extends the hours. And again, just like I said with the Super NES version, I went back in and I maximized everything, and I beat all. There's like extra quests for like defeat this many amount of animals or beasts or whatever. So there's enough to keep you going. And at the end of, a slight spoiler, at the end of this extra little zone that comes up after the game's over, they pose the question, which is like, if we defeated the Dark Lord, then why are there still enemies? And then it's like, oh, hopefully they make a sequel. Like that's literally like leaves the idea open for potentially bridging into a proper ActRaiser 2 or ActRaiser Renaissance 2 sequel later on, which I think could be a really cool idea.
I feel like when you go all in on a game like this, it's not by accident. It's not like it's time to release ActRaiser again. Just as they want to see if is this game that we have an idea for worth it? So
could it be a new-ish franchise they can bring back? Because Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest, they've kind of elevated Nier to that level, which is good for them. But Tomb Raider has sort of fallen off. Their Western developed stuff is starting to shift away. I mean, what you got Guardians of the Galaxy, and that's sort of this weird Hail Mary pass because Avengers isn't doing very well, so they're trying some stuff.
It's on Game Pass now, baby. Download
Outriders?
Avengers.
Yeah. Remember Outriders? Oh my goodness, no one remembers Outriders. That game went.
Oh yeah.
So maybe this could be like this is a return to the Japanese-based developers. But ActRaiser, fantastic game, 20+ hours. And then finally, I talked about it last week. Kena Bridge of Spirits, sunk more time into it, and I went from being not necessarily lukewarm to the game, but I was enjoying the game, but not madly in love with it. That sort of changed. I'm really, really liking Kena Bridge of Spirits. So. I'll do a full review here probably this week, if not this weekend. the game, it takes a little bit of time to get going because you don't really you don't really get things opening up until maybe 3 hours in, 2.5, 3 hours in, which is it's a little bit, it's a lot, I should say, because the game is really only like 10 to 12 hours long at most. So if a third of the game is you just kind of learning really basic stuff, it can be a little bit of a turnoff, but they hook you by really making the environments pretty and beautiful. And so the whole first section of the game is this company, Ember Labs, which was an animation studio, and they did that Majora's Mask animation, which was really kind of famous from a few years, from like 2018 or something. Cannon Bridge of Spirits is a love letter to Majora's Mask. Like, masks are everywhere in this game. Now, it's not a Zelda game. It's just it seemed like they love the idea of Majora's Mask. A character puts on a strange wooden mask, and stuff starts to happen. And then they kind of put their own twist in. I do think that they're doing a great job with this game. Right now, it's I think it's on PlayStation 5 and Epic Game Store. Yeah. But they said that they've been open, potentially might be open later on and bring it to other platforms. So I could totally see this on Xbox and Steam and stuff. And then, maybe Switch, but it'd be difficult because it's a gorgeous looking game. There's a point, like I said, about 3, maybe 4 hours in, where the game just really opens up, lets you start to warp around the map and use new tool sets, and your abilities can start really getting enhanced and stuff. And it really becomes a joy to play. And not madly in love with the game, but I went from being, like I said, a little bit more than lukewarm to really, really liking the experience. It's still a little tight to control. There's still some control issues on there. It's a little floaty at times, and the character has a nice double jump, which is pretty cool. It's like PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2 era double jump, which is really cool. But I'm really enjoying it. And they're an indie studio, so they're a AAA studio. And when you see a AAA studio, and we've talked about companies which are AAA, like there's AAA Games, which did the Hindsight 2020, which I wasn't a huge fan of. And this company is an animation studio, and they're really looking at it from more of the story and bringing what they know about animation and character building into game and kind of building the mechanics around that. I think that was a really solid way to do this. And so, it's, I'm not quite ready to say it's like a must own for PlayStation fans or anything, but, I don't think you'll go wrong if you pick the game up. It's cute. It's heartwarming. It's, got some great character moments, and it's got some touching moments. And, I'm very near the end of the game, and stuff just starts to emotionally punch you, which is kind of cool, which there's a build up to it, but they don't overtly call it out until sort of the last quarter of the game. Then you're like, oh man. But Kina, good stuff. Really liking it, and I'm recommending it now. I went from being like, if you're looking for a game, pick it up, now to if you're a PlayStation, you'll probably want to pick it up. So yeah. What are you playing, dude? You got a few things.
I got a few things. I got a VR game called Rhythm of the Universe. I think it's Iona. It's in the same sort of idea of
Ionia. Okay.
Ionia, yeah. It's in the same idea of Kenna, in the sense where it's clearly made by a team that wants to be an animation studio. Because it seems like the design is where everything went into it.
Mm-hmm. Here, they have it on PSVR as well.
Yeah. I got a code for it for Oculus.
Mm-hmm.
It's not good. It looks cool. It's got cool character designs. I got sort of like trapped on a puzzle, so I went to like a gameplay video on YouTube, and it was like a complete run was 45 minutes
of the whole game
of the whole game on this thing. And it's clearly like this is from like the opening cutscene.
Okay.
And
looks
it
cool.
sucks. It's cool.
Nice visual.
This is all in 2D. like the opening cutscene is all in 2D, so it's just like you're just sitting there
Oh.
watching it on a TV screen, and you're just like it's really well made. It's got cool character designs, but everything else, like once the game kicks in, it feels like it's a first generation VR game. It's all that really jittery sort of like teleport kind of stuff, and you don't really ever feel like you have complete control over your character despite having your hands in front of you. There's a lot of climbing, and it's a rhythm game, so all the puzzles are like playing like the xylophone or like other kinds of things, and I'm not having any fun with it because the gameplay just feels feels so old. I like the character, and I like the idea because it's like if you go to like the Steam page or whatever, they show you that it's like, you know, it's a conservationist game. It's a game that has a purpose behind it. It's trying to be like save the earth, save the trees kind of thing. It's very Avatar-esque in a lot of ways, and it even has like the like the Crocodile Hunter Foundation stuff like on the Steam page and things like that. Like it's out to do something good, but the game just isn't there. It's not fun, and everything's it's either a rhythm game or a first person shooter, and those are your two sort of choices. So I'm just looking for something different out of VR right now, which is why I like Arcsmith so much.
Arcsmith. Oh god, great job with the games.
Yeah, that game was so good. It was so unique, and it felt like it earned its like VR-ness. Like this just feels like this could have also have just been a Wii game or something. Like just like the VR doesn't really add. See, there's the Wildlife Warriors right there.
There you go. Okay.
But like there's something there though. Like you see it, you see the character design, you watch that opening cutscene, the voice acting and everything. And it's like there's something there, but it feels like they need to be an animation studio and not a game studio. Because again, this game's not long. This game's about the length of a straight-to-video animated project. Something that would be on Netflix or something. But instead, it's a rhythm puzzle game that... Yeah. And I think if you look, it's got like mixed...
mixed 23,
yeah. Because everyone has... Yeah, everyone kind of has the same idea that I have of it, where it's like, it's a good... oh, I see you've got Honey activated on your browser. Are you getting some savings here on the Steam store?
You got it, baby. Yeah. Oh, there it is. Oh, am I? Didn't even know that. Nice.
Yeah.
Get my Honey points. We're not sponsored by Honey, no.
No. No. There's something there. This is like maybe another game, or just pivot into being an animation studio is probably the way to go, especially since they really just want to, especially since they more have a message than they do seem like a vision of a game. So, that one's kind of a bummer, but
yeah. You know what's interesting is
VR.
We brought it up with Hindsight 2020, and there's other indie games where they get like they get a few folks together and there's an idea.
Yeah,
but you really need somebody to come in and say, okay, cool idea, cool base you have, but this is how you need to flush it out. You need somebody, I don't want to say someone from left field or anything, but you need somebody who really understands creative direction to come in on a lot of these things and say, this is what, this is exactly what you need to do.
Yeah. Okay. I played Centipede Recharged.
Oh,
I think it's called. It's so Atari is doing they're introducing a new line of old games that they're adding the Recharged title to. So I think the next one is Black Widow Recharged.
Not the movie.
Not the movie, the old Atari game, Black Widow. But like this is it's kind of like those old, like what you would get on like the 360, like Galaga Legions or like, Pac-Man Championship Edition and things like that, where it's like, let's take the game and like do something, like make it sort of modernized a bit, but keep the core game identical. And that's what the visual aesthetic to it is neon. It looks a lot like Geometry Wars. It's a very cool aesthetic, and it looks really good because it kind of gives it that vector graphics look. And you get all kinds of like, and you get all kinds of
cool. Yeah, okay.
Like, it's a cool visual style. And it's got different challenges, and you get different weapons and stuff. It's really fun. It's just its biggest downfall is that it's Centipede. I
Game
don't
you've
like
played
Centipede.
before, yeah.
Yeah, and I've never been a
Okay,
big Centipede's
really?
one of my Centipede's one of my least favorite of those like classic arcade
Really?
games. Like, yeah,
Oh,
if I
I'm
want
a
to play something like
huge
like I want to play Missile Command or Asteroids or Tempest and stuff. And Centipede and Millipede have never been a favorite of mine at all. It's my least favorite of these classic early
I
80s arcade games.
love Centipede. And
I
Millipede, which came
think
after.
if you
Loved it,
love,
but yeah.
yeah, I honestly, if you love Centipede, this is a really good game to get. It has a
Okay.
2-player mode, which is really nice, like a couch co-op. I said it right there, a couch co-op.
Couch co-op. Okay.
It looks good. It plays good. It's Centipede. It's just a modern take on Centipede. At least it's doing more with it than like the Space Invaders Invincible collection I reviewed a few weeks ago.
The one you want to throw down the Atari does deserve better, that's for sure.
Atari, yeah,
great IP, yeah.
Yeah, the people that are in charge of Atari right now are just sort of dragging Atari through the mud a little bit. Like they don't really have a clear focus because they are making Atari games. Like they're doing stuff with the brand in terms of gaming. Like I said, this is the start of a new franchise for Atari, the Recharge stuff, where they're going back and modernizing old Atari games, which is a cool idea. But then you have, Atari Token, the Atari
Hotel,
the Atari Hotels. You have the Atari VCS, which I don't know a single person that has an Atari VCS. I don't know a single you read the reviews for the hardware when it first came out and that was it. Like there's nothing to it. I've requested hardware for that thing, but we'll see if that ever comes to fruition. But this is on these recharged games are on the VCS. Like
yes, also
I got it on the Switch because I don't know what I had my choice and I said that feels like the right place for this kind of game. Like I don't know if I need it on the PS5. That feels like a bit much. I sit down in front of on a 55-inch 4K television on my PS5 and play a neon drenched Centipede doesn't feel like I need to do that. The Switch sounds good. I'm going to lay in bed tonight and play some Centipede. Yeah, that's cool. So
Centipede Recharged. All right. What else you got?
Yeah, there's that. That's a game that I picked up very recently is let me look at my Switch because I always forget the title of it and I'm going to call it something wrong. I will get around to talking about that one. I haven't gotten around to much gameplay of what was it called? Steel Assault.
Assault. Yeah.
I started playing a little bit of that. I can start saying because it's from the people that did.
Is it officially out?
It's
okay.
Yeah. It's
Panzer Paladin, right? That was
it's Panzer Paladin team, and it's a classic 2D side-scrolling. Your weapon is like a whip, but it's also a grappling hook, and you're like doing this cool thing where it's like you want to get across this gap. It's like a grappling hook, but it's not like Bionic Commando or Spider-Man where you're swinging on it. It's kind of like creating a bridge, so it's like you have to have 2 connection points and go on and stuff. And so far, it seems really, really well done, but I haven't delved deep enough into it yet to say really what goes on past this. But so far it's a post-apocalyptic. It's one of those games that has this isn't what an NES game or SNES game was, but it has that feeling enough of it where you're like, yeah. But so far so good. I'll probably talk about it more next time. Yeah, it's neat. I'm gonna play some more of it, but there's that. But the other I've been playing Transformers Battlegrounds.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, it was on sale for $20, and I said I always wanted to play that, and it looked fun, and it is fun. It is Transformers. It's the animated, more modern animated style. It's not G1, unfortunately, but it is what it is. It is Transformers XCOM, and it really works. It's really fun.
Does it really? Okay.
Yeah. This is a really fun game, and it has a really silly conceit to explain why you're playing a top-down strategy Transformers game. They build that into the storyline.
Is it like there's a drone or you're
kind
playing
of
from? Okay.
You are a human that was trapped in the middle of the battle zone, and they have teletracks come and swoop you in and hold you
Okay.
above to protect you. And the Transformers are in a town that they don't know anything about, but you do because you're a human from the area. So you're like leading them around, telling them where to go and where the Decepticons are. So it's like so it's really like you're playing a scout. So it's kind of a cute way of
that's interesting.
of storifying the idea of what this kind of XCOM strategy style is. It's not complicated. It doesn't have a lot of deep mechanics or anything so far, but it's for $20. Fantastic. I'm really into it so far, and I can't wait to play more of this one. I just started playing it. It's a hell of a little game.
Grimlock. They got all my favorite. There's RC. That's cool. Awesome.
Yeah, no, it's great.
Are you only playing as the Autobots, or can you choose different sides or characters?
There's different modes that let you be Decepticons and stuff. And there's like an arcade mode, and there's some DLC that has like other like games and stuff too. So.
There's been a real renaissance, not to use the word renaissance like I did earlier, a real renaissance in these types of tactic games, right? Because you have this, you have the Marvel game, you have there's like
Rabbids.
Rabbids. I love this style of game. I mean, it's become more and more my jam.
because like this is Fire Emblem, man. I mean, like it's Transformers Fire Emblem. It's great.
But now give me Fire Emblem as a true tactics game. That would be like this.
And now you're getting Advance Wars in a couple of months or this month.
No, December.
So next month, December. Okay. But yeah, that's a fun little game.
Cool.
So far, and like they put out a G.I. Joe game at around the same time. That was
this? It's not the same kind, is it?
It's not the same type of game, but it's just funny that like at the same time there was a Transformers and a G.I. Joe game that like
Hasbro's trying to get those IP, otherwise they might lose them or whatever. Whoever the developer.
I'm surprised there's never been a G.I. Joe Transformers crossover game because they cross over in the comics all the time.
And what did they cross over once in cartoon form somewhere? Maybe, and I know they had talked about it, and then they talked about actually merging those universes in the movies.
Yeah, so. because there was the rumor for the long time that they were making the Mask movie,
the Maskiverse. Yeah. With who is that robot? The space robot. Rom.
Yes, Rom. Yeah, man, Rom was a cool. Like. One of the first appearances of the comic book character, the Marvel X-Men character Rogue, like her second appearance ever was in an issue of ROM.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So that's crazy shit. Yeah. But I guess the biggest game I've been playing is embargo's up today, so I can talk about it.
Wait, hold on. The embargo.
The embargo is up. The embargo was up today. I checked before we started. The embargo was up this morning.
I'm checking right now. Monday, October. If you agree to embargo of Monday, October 4th at 9 a.m. for reviews, impressions, and all video. The game launches Tuesday. So 9 a.m. Eastern time. You can talk about it. Shoot.
I can talk about it.
Bam.
Although I do think they do say don't talk about story elements.
Sure.
It's Alan Wake. This game came out
like 15 years old, 20 years old.
The game came out in 2011 on the Xbox 360. It is Alan Wake, and that is what this game is. It is Alan Wake. They splashed a fresh coat of paint on it, fixed nothing about the game, and pushed it out. Say, here you go, enjoy. And I don't think that's good enough. I like Alan Wake. I do. It's a game of its time. It was kind of outdated when it came out. Like, it has a lot of weird, wonky mechanics that don't make for a fun video game in any way, shape, or form. It's a lot of like, put a key into a keyhole and here's a QTE for some reason to open your door.
And you're playing on PS5?
PS5, yeah, because I felt like that was going to be where I was going to get the best feel to what they really did, because my PC is great, but I'm not running in 4K on it. Like, sure. Yeah. This is running in 4K. I'm getting the DualSense 5 stuff, adapted triggers and all that stuff. And I downloaded Alan Wake on my PC because I have the original Alan Wake on my PC and I can run it at max, ultra or whatever, because again, it's a game from 2011. It's a good looking game. Don't get me wrong. It's beautiful. Like the lighting in it, because it is a game that revolves around lighting, is fantastic. And all the character models are better. They added, like, it's got a lot of like debris changes and things. Like there are moments where you're like wandering around and like because I played like the opening act of this game side by side, basically, just to see if I could see what the differences were. And you just like see like, oh, they put more like roadblocks here for some reason or whatever. It's like, so it's clearly more went into it than just putting a nice HD filter over the game. But there are some things that could have been fixed. I think there needed to be something done with the stamina in this game. It really ruins the fun of this game in a lot of ways, is to just hold down the run button and then have Alan Wake get extremely tired immediately. It's not fun. And this game really is a short game, and a lot of it is really spent not really playing a game, but like running through the woods. But at the same time, it's still one of the best like narratives in like video games. Like the way the game plays out, the way the sort of cheesiness, the sort of Twin Peaks feel, and sort of like Alan Wake's narrating the game, and all the plot twists and everything that go along with that is it's still really good. It's just, it plays like a game that came out on the 360 in 2011, and I don't think it's necessarily worth your time to go back to it like this. Like, you needed to either fix some of the problems with it, or let it be. Just re-release. Just call it a remaster, but just make it like, oh, we just put a nice HD filter over it and released it on the digital storefront, so you can play it easily. The biggest advantage that this thing has on like the PS5 is the fact that the PS5 is an SSD. So the load times are next to nothing. So that's
that's cool.
Yeah, I
mean, that was a bit of an issue in the with
the original ones. Yeah, but that was the issue with pretty much everything on the 360 at the time. So never really had the best load times.
So with Control having been released, a few years ago, years ago, they're all kind of set in the same universe, I guess, right? Or
there's significant Alan Wake stuff, like an entire expansion revolving around Alan Wake in Control.
For Control, yeah.
That acts as sort of an Alan Wake 1.5 in a lot of ways. So there's been the rumors, obviously. I think Jeff Grubb pretty much confirmed that Alan Wake 2 is like being actively worked on.
Yep.
Which makes sense. I have to assume that probably around Christmas time or something, they're going to put, what was it, American Nightmare out, if you remember. They had that DLC, that's just that side story, alternate universe, Alan Wake in a flannel shirt one. I have to assume that's coming, because it's not on this. It's not like it's a complete edition of Alan Wake, because it doesn't have the DLC package. But I think that was also a standalone game too. So I think it was DLC, but also standalone, or maybe just standalone. I don't remember. That was 2011, man. It might as well be 1911.
It was 2 decades ago. So who do you see being into this game, like this remake, this remaster?
This will be a great way to play it if you've never played it before. If you've played it before, just pass. Luckily it's $30. This is a game where I haven't beaten it yet, but also I've beaten Alan Wake, and there is nothing new here. There is no like fixed anything. Like I said, there's no new mechanics. There's no new. It just looks better, which goes a long way. It looks beautiful. The lights, like I said, the lighting, the character models, everything. It looks fantastic. But it's a short game, that's for sure. That helps. But like, I think if you've never played Alan Wake before and you know full well, but you liked Control, go back to it and maybe like check it out, because there's going to be another Alan Wake. That's just as plain as day. It's pretty obvious there's going to be another Alan Wake. Yeah,
they're building it up. They're not just putting this game out for no reason.
Yeah, they're not putting it in. They're not putting it in Control and they're not releasing this remastered one. It's so funny that this remastered one did like the Nintendo style drop where it's like announce and release in like less than a month. Like that's wild. But again, they didn't really have to do a whole lot to it. So, but yeah, it's just not worth your time if you've played this game before. Like if you really, really, really want to play Alan Wake again, you could probably get the original one on Steam was like on the Humble store, like for like $5 all the time. Or you know, and things like that. Like if you want to play it, it plays really well on PC and it plays exactly the same, just not as pretty. Yeah, it's not like it's going to be the Knights of the Old Republic game that's coming out where it's like, oh, that's going to be a new game. That's going to be the old game, but they're redoing it, kind of thing, or the Final Fantasy VII or something. This is just the same game, and it just looks better. Even with the Zelda stuff, they tend to do some quality of life improvements when they did some of these remasters and stuff. Like Wind Waker, you got the quick sale like out the gate kind of thing and things like that. Like if they just gave you if they just like fixed the stamina or did like increase the stamina or did a stamina meter or something, probably would have helped the game significantly.
Did they? Yeah.
It's also ridiculous that mechanically, I still don't understand the flashlight. I get it as like a gameplay mechanic, and I guess from a plot line, do we want to him off with talking about plot elements or whatever? But like,
no.
Yeah, but like,
right.
I guess like with the way the flashlight works in this is if you hold the flashlight harder, it gets brighter, and I guess in a reality that's not right, I guess that makes sense, but like
it's a game. It's a game reality, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, but yeah, it's a fun, cute game. I love the story of Alan Wake. It's so good.
It's great.
And it plays out so well throughout the course of the game. They really do a good job. But that's the thing. Remedy's really fucking good at storytelling. Yeah. Like very few of their games, like even Max Payne doesn't play great. It's kind of clunky as a third-person shooter, but like it has so much style with its storytelling that it goes a long way. And Control is probably their best playing game, and it's still kind of a clunky third-person shooter. So, but I love their storytelling. Were they the ones that did Quantum Break? They did Quantum Break.
Yes,
right?
They did Quantum Break. Yep.
Quantum Break's cool. But again, it plays like shit. But Quantum Break, did they ever do anything with the TV? There is the TV element of Quantum Break.
I thought there was supposed to be.
Yeah.
I can't remember though.
With what's his nose is the star, the guy that plays Iceman in the X-Men movies. Yeah.
Well, so it's been so long since I've played Alan Wake.
That's the thing. Like as I'm sitting there and I'm like, it's been a long time since I've played Alan Wake 2, but as you're playing it, you realize, it's been a while, but I remember Alan Wake really.
Yeah, okay.
And it does, and once you start getting into it, you kind of get tired of it. It's like game. You get tired of the game really quick.
Sure.
You don't get tired of what Alan Wake is. You like being in that universe, and playing the game becomes a chore at a point, and I'm not feeling it. I'll finish it because it's a short game and I'm almost done. But it's hard to recommend it. But if you haven't played it in a while, I feel like this is going to be one of those games where it's $30 now. It's going to be $20 in the holiday season or something. It'll be $20 when Black Friday rolls around or something, or whatever goes on, some Amazon Prime Day or some bullshit. That'll be a great price for it. $20 will be a fucking phenomenal price for this game if you just want to experience Alan Wake with a fresh coat of paint. But I just think everything that's coming out and that's come out, and like there's better games to play right now than just going back to this kind of clunky, easy like remaster of this game. So yeah.
And a lot of work could have gone into it, but it doesn't show. It seems like it doesn't.
It feels like I'm rambling on about how I really like this game, but it's it's just I feel like I'm just rambling about this game that I do like, but also am bored of already. Like, okay, I've gotten my fill of Alan Wake. I'm ready for the next Alan Wake. If you've never played Alan Wake before, this is great. It's a cheap game and it's a fun game. Fun.
First time on PlayStation as well, which is there are PlayStation gamers that haven't played it before.
Yeah. So there is a market for this game, but it feels like there should have been more. You should have at least included American Nightmare with it or something. I just feel like something more.
Are the 2 DLC packs included in this?
I don't even remember what the other DLC packs were.
There were 2 little DLC short story things.
Oh yeah.
The writer, and then there was another one.
Yeah, that's right. I don't think so. I didn't really go into the options menu, and there's nothing when you choose new game. It's just new game and chapters and stuff like that. And this was one of those weird games. Remember when Alan Wake came out? It was you can play whatever level you want whenever you want.
Right. Yep. Episodic. Yeah.
Because it was episodic, but it's just if you just want to play level 5 right now, you can. You don't have to actually play 1 through 4 if you want to.
That's a cool idea.
It's a cool idea. I don't think it works for a game like this, but it's a cool idea. So
it was a way, I think, for them to. There's some games now with that, very few, but that will catch you up. You'll load up the screen, you'll start the game up if you've been gone for a while. It says, here's what you were doing. Here's what happened. Yeah,
and that's what this game does. When you come back to it, you hit continue. It does a previously on Alan Wake. It has that in universe TV series that's playing in the background, and it has you're finding pages for the manuscript. That's basically Max Payne 3, Remedy's Max Payne 3, not Rockstar's Max Payne 3.
Right.
And it's got a lot of cool references and stuff that you forgot, that I kind of forgot about, going through it. It's oh yeah, there's actually some really fun, the aesthetic of the game is so good, and the sort of trappings of the Twin Peaks style episodic television trappings is very cool for this game. It's fun to see that stuff again. Because remember, this was definitely their first foray. This is clearly they got a taste for the TV thing, which would lead into Quantum Break going forward. But
Alan Wake, baby.
Alan Wake, okay game. You can play Alan Wake relatively easily without having to play. I bet you could play Alan Wake on an Xbox Series X. I bet you pop that disc in a 360 disc in
the
there
original
run.
Oh, yeah. Huh?
I don't know. I have to look at the backwards compatibility list, but yeah.
Okay. All right. Good deal. Is that it?
I think so. I think anything else, nobody cares about Cruise and Blast anymore, so we can just go.
Yeah. Well, with that, it's gonna be a heck of a week with game announcements, and it's October. We have a bunch of releases this week. I think Far Cry comes out on
Far Cry comes out tomorrow
or Thursday. Tomorrow.
Metro. Alan Wake is tomorrow. The Nick Fighting All-Stars game tomorrow. And
Metroid, baby.
Metroid on Friday.
Yeah, join us on Wednesday night, Wednesday evening for a special Metroid episode. I'm trying to play through some of the Metroid games, so that'll be kind of fun.
I just started playing Metroid Prime on a GameCube again. It's been a while since I played it on the GameCube, because once it came out on the Wii, that sort of just became the default version.
If you have a Wii U, which all good people have a Wii U, you can download the Metroid Prime trilogy on that. However, remember you still can.
Is the eShop alive and well on the Wii U?
The Wii U eShop is still available, the Metroid Prime trilogy, because it's $19.99 for all 3 games.
It's a hell of a fucking
but remember, the rumor is that they're going to be re-releasing a slightly cleaned up original Metroid Prime 1 for
again. I'm sure it's just sure it's going to be an upscaled.
It will be, sure.
Yeah,
but it'll be $60. So
make that money. Yeah,
that'll be that. There's your February Nintendo game that they have.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
All right.
Whatever the midpoint between now and the release of Metroid Prime 4 is when they release the Metroid Prime trilogy.
Yeah. Like I said, I think there'll be a singular Metroid Prime 1 release. I think that's sort of how the rumor has been shifting. Metroid Prime 1 will be out there on disc, and then they'll sell the other 2 games on digitally or something.
Yes. It would be cool if they did something with Metroid Prime 1. If they have a studio secretly actually doing an Alan Wake remaster version of it, where it's we didn't change much of the game, we just changed how it looked and make it look HD and beautiful, widescreen, and let's go sick, boys. So
I wish JJ, where can we find you when you're not on SideQuesting or in the Discord?
Pretty much on SideQuesting or in the Discord.
In the Discord, and your podcast.
You can listen to Disney Compendium. We were gonna do the Moana episode, but I had some personal stuff come up, and then we got around to it. But the Zootopia episode is the most recent one, and that's a really good episode. If you haven't listened to the Zootopia episode, I highly recommend it. It is two grown men becoming increasingly more disenfranchised with the state of the world as they talk about how sad it is to watch this cop bunny go on a relatively racist rant at a press conference about foxes.
It's wild.
Yeah. So how it's basically a movie that delves into like Reagan passing out, narcotics to the inner city. It's a wild movie, man.
It really is. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's a fun episode. But yeah, that's it for now. For now. I'm sure there's going to be a I always forget what the hell the wrestling RPG podcast I do is. I always forget to Shootcast, Jabroni Delivery Service. That's what it is.
There you go. Shootcast.
A spin-off of Hogcast Speedy Delivery, which is friends of the show, Russ and Alan's Sonic and #1 Sonic and Pizza podcast. It's a spin-off where we do the Poseidon Wrestling Alliance, and we play a tabletop pen and paper wrestling RPG. We all got our own characters.
That's awesome.
And it's a hoot. So we've had some guests on there before. The guy that wrote the Mr. Boop comic strips. He was on the episode. He was on the podcast.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we did a wrestling show with the Mr. Boop guy.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's good times. Check that out.
Will do.
Shootcast, Jabroni Delivery Service.
You can find me SideQuesting, Twitter, all that kind of stuff. And you can find us at SideQuesting.com, at SideQuesting on Twitter, SideQuesting TV on Twitch, SideQuesting on YouTube, and just go to the Discord. You just find a link in this post. With that, we'll see you all on Wednesday for the special Metroid episode. Ooh. Take care, everybody. Bye.
See you.